Welcome, Aries. This is your December 2024 reading. I'm taking a look at the month. It is a general reading, also collective, and we'll take a look at current situation, influences around that. I have an oracle deck for you at the end, and I have using the Somnia tarot. So the first thing I'm going to do, I normally pull the bottom of the deck, but instead I'm going to pull a major arcana to get an idea, an overall energy of the reading for you for December. Let's see what we got, Aries. What do we have for you? We will take that. Okay, we have the Hermit. So December is going to be probably a continuation. I feel like it's a continuation of a search, going forward, looking for those things. I'm almost inspired to say that, with the Hermit and the Lantern, that you may even seek what you're looking for this month. I mean, it may go into January, but I feel like if you've been really searching for something, then this reading is probably for you. It looks like you're going to be finding something. This could be any life area, so take this as it resonates. I'm going to shuffle this deck a couple times here. Let's see what we got. Okay. I will use this deck for the reading, and then I'll use the other Somnia for clarifying. Okay. What do we have? Let's do current situation for our Aries. The Fool. Yep. See, I think you're finding it. Okay. Past influence. That's the card I want. King of Pentacles. I want my candle here, so I'll put that there. It's going to be hard to see them, but I'll show you every card. Present influence. King of Swords. So I'm going to do a negative, or not, something to, I'll talk about the negative position. It's, could be thoughts. It could be, the Star. And the positive. Eight of Wands. Okay. What we don't see, right? No. Unexpected. No, this is what we don't see. I'm sorry. This is an energy that you don't see this month. Strength. What to look for. Knight of Pentacles. Unexpected. Lovers. Partnership. Okay. And challenge. Five of Cups. What's the future look like? Future influence. That's the influence is the High Priestess. Like that. Outcome. Three of Pentacles. I like that. Where does this lead? Nine of Swords. Can't have it easy, can you, Aries? Queen of Pentacles. And then, interesting. The Hierophant. The Ace of Wands is at the bottom of the deck too. So I do feel like that goes a lot with that Hermit, honestly, because the Ace of Wands has the fire. It's like lighting up, illuminating something. You're learning something that's pretty important here. I do feel like for Aries in general, January, February is going to be probably more into February. It's going to be really good for you. Just from, the readings I've been doing in general. So I think it'll be really good. Now, the Hermit is that energy of the reading itself. So kind of going on that search, illuminating something. I find it really interesting with the Fool being in the current situation, because that's you taking that leap of faith. So there'll be some time this month where you're just feeling like you need to go. Now, are you going, or are you kind of holding back? The King of Coins is in your past influence. I definitely want to clarify that to see if that is somebody or you. But I do feel like there is something here about an energy going, because it goes from the King of Pentacles as your past influence to the King of Swords, which is your present. There's that feeling of going from kind of an earthy, you know, practical, steady energy to a very, when I think of the King of Swords, I think of lightning a lot of times. I know they're maybe because the lightning, the strike, the instant, but it's also very intellectual, like you really getting and digging into something if that's you. So we'll take a look at that. But let's clarify as we go. So we've got this deck for clarifying, please. These cards are all of the same. They're slightly different. I mean, they're different decks of the same cards. So they do look different, but the overall imagery is the same. So tell me about the Fool first. Now, you know what? I want to look at the King of Pentacles since that's the past influence. Look, what is this King of Pentacles for our Aries in the past influence? What is this? Aha, there's the King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, or the card says coins. So, and Temperance. Yeah, I definitely feel like you're on a journey. So that would be the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles kind of mirrors the Ace of Pentacles as well. Think of pages as being very young, and then they're young, so they really want to go after something. They're learning something a lot of times, but it's the beginning of the courts. So, and the Page of Pentacles has made a discovery here. So I do feel like it has to do with this search, being on this search. You are searching for something, but you have also found something. I believe that this King of Pentacles could be someone in your life that is an earth sign. And I do believe it's someone. It doesn't have to be a lover. It could be, maybe not. But what they are is they're kind of bringing harmony to you for some reason. Now, this could be even someone you're following and you're getting ideas on, to pursue this mission that you're on, whatever it is, whether it's a spiritual mission, finding love situation, work, furthering your career, whatever it is. But you're finding some kind of real balance here, and you're realizing too, the temperance can add those, the fire and the water together to really bring in passion to doing what you love. And I like that feeling with the temperance, but it's also very balanced emotionally card. I feel like you've kind of like in the past kind of like settled in. You've made a discovery, but that discovery has settled you in. And when I say settled in, I mean being a stable, not being chaotic energy, being very stable energy. You're not jumping to any conclusions. You're working through the process with that Page of Pentacles, but something is sparked also. So let's look at the King of Swords. So this is our King of Swords. The King of Swords, he is very intellectual, very direct. When he puts something into motion, he has those blinders on. He's going straight for it. Think of the sword. He speaks well, but sometimes very sharp. What is this King of Swords for our Aries and present influence, please? Okay, Death, Four of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. There's that Ace of Wands. Yeah, this is the change. So there is a change happening with that Death card, this King of Swords. Now, this could be someone for some of you, so keep that open mind. The Four of Pentacles is, though, holding on to something like really tightly here. Like you don't want to let go, but I feel like you have to, because this is the energy of the spark. So I feel like overall you're taking on this persona saying, I have to be more intellectual. I have to plan more. I got to get into my head more. For Aries, that may get you into trouble, right? Because that can be frustrating. Aries are people that want to go and do. They don't want to think about it. They just want to do it. Like, let's get this done. Let's get this started. Let's go. So there is, and that's why the Ace of Wands is there. But I do feel like you're working on it, but there's something that's holding you back before you really are going to jump. Um, but that energy is, I think, your change. Like, I think that's you changing or looking at things differently. We have the Fool in the current situation, which I really love because that's, that's definitely Aries just going for it. It's that in this case, he's tied to a bed, or he was tied to a bed, and he's freed himself from that bed. And there's a long story with this illustrator, but he's freed himself from the bed, and now he's free to go. He's going through that portal, starting something new, going for it. He's got his journal, and that's all he's got. It's kind of like the backpack in the Right Away. You take exactly what you need and you go on your new journey. And I feel like that's what you're doing. And I feel like that's kind of what the Hermit is too. Tell me more about the Fool, please. Okay, Ten of Pentacles, the Fool, the King of Swords. Wow. You are taking on the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, this could have something to do with your home, your job, your money, your stability. But there's something here where I don't want to say you're moving away from being stable. I mean, this could be moving, but you're like, I have got to do something more. This is like you're being freed from something that's tied you back. The King of Swords again coming in is this is the energy that's pushing you through. Now, if this is somebody, I feel like they're kind of in charge of pushing this change, pushing you out of that window, but not in a bad way, but it could feel bad. You know how like when someone does something and it kind of like forces you to do something, and all in all the action was not that good or didn't feel good at the time, but you realized that later it really set you free or set you on to the right path. That's what I'm getting, the feeling that you're going to be headed on the right path, and that energy is going to come from somebody pushing you through. So that King of Swords definitely could be someone, but at the same time it could, take it as it resonates, it could be you over processing as well. But I feel like there's something here that you're freeing yourself from. A home, it could be a relationship, it could be family ties, it could be something that you've just, could be a job. But it could be something too that you have kind of thought a certain way about what brings you stability. And you're releasing that thought, that idea, and saying, that's not necessarily what brings me stability. What does bring me stability? And you're off on that, moving forward with that. I like that energy. So what is the negative? The negative is sort of the Star. And I don't think this is a negative. Well, the Star's not a negative card at all. And it's hard for even me to envision how it would be negative. The only thing I would say is that you can't reach your highest dreams without putting in the effort and putting in the work. And Aries usually are very hard workers because they're go-getters. I got to go do this. I got to go do that. I got to get it. But sometimes if you have an idea that things are just going to come, then they may not. Let's clarify this Star because it's odd to me being in the negative. But sometimes it's not that the Star, it's not the dream that's negative. It's how we're going after it. And it's not that it's negative in the sense that it's bad, okay? It's like maybe just something that is keeping you. This could be outside of you. There could be something that's holding you back that you don't realize from reaching those dreams, those aspirations with the Star as, the wishing upon a star type deal. Tell me more about this in the negative. I got the Hierophant, the Three of Cups with the Ace of Coins. I feel like it's almost like there's some kind of commitment you made, or okay, I feel like the Three of Cups in this case, the reason why the Star is in the negative is I feel like that Three of Cups is gossip. And I feel like maybe if you confided in somebody with the Hierophant that they're, and I know that's not normally what the Hierophant means, but this is what I'm getting. And the Three of Cups is like they they betrayed you, but I don't feel like they betrayed you in a bad way, or maybe didn't even mean to. You know how sometimes someone slips because you told them somebody, but I feel like it's kind of gossip in some way. Someone slipped something that you told them. It's someone, I think it's almost like that. Like there's just something here where um someone else is involved and causing you not to reach your dreams, because I feel like it brings you a new opportunity, maybe even money. But I feel like where the reason why the star is there with these clarifiers is like your idea of having faith in somebody backfired. And so that the trust, that's what I feel like's happening here. It may be different for all of you, but I do feel like something new comes in because of it with that Ace of Pentacles. I feel like this Hierophant and the Three of Cups is like, okay, someone you trusted. So Hierophant is a priest, a teacher, a professor, someone very important. He's the masculine to the high priestess. And it feels to me like you trusted somebody and they defied you. But in the long run, I think you're getting something out of it. That's what I feel like. So with that, the positive is the Eight of Wands. So this is the other side. So the Eight of Wands, right? That energy of going and doing. There's something here that happens because of that negative that puts you back on the right track. Let's take a look at the clarifier. Let's clarify this Eight of Wands, because I feel like the Eight of Wands is go energy, man. It's moving too. Like some of you could be actually moving. Okay. Tell me more about the Eight of Wands. Okay, we got Queen of Cups, Five of Cups, and the Star. So yeah, there was a disappointment, right, with you reaching your goals. But I feel like there's something new coming in with this Queen of Cups. And I think you're realizing. So over here, the Star, this Queen of Cups could be that person, right? That you confided in, and they disappointed you, right? Because here's the Star again. But I do feel like that you really aren't losing your dreams, your wishes. This is a different star than this one. I feel like with this being the positive, that this disappointment that you're finding, that you're seeing, is actually putting you on the right track to get to your wishes, even though it feels like it's not. So this is an outside thing that's happened that you can't control, but the negative has turned into a positive because it's actually set you on the right track. I mean, not to say that you're not disappointed, but the Eight of Wands is leaving that away. But I feel like too, this being in the positive, it also could be a message from somebody where you realize that maybe this was not supposed to happen the way it did, and maybe an apology or something. Um, it could be because you were pretty disappointed about it. So what do we have in the what we don't see is the Strength card. With that, there's a there, and I have the Knight of Pentacles and what to look for. So I do feel like there's that energy of patience. And sometimes, especially with Aries, to be patient, it takes a lot of strength. You really got to dig from like within to really stay patient and stay consistent. Aries want to see things happen. Like they want to make things happen and see things happen. They're not patient. I'm an Aries. I know this. Like I'm a fire. Well, I'm an Aries. Yeah. So I mean, understand the patience, the lack of patience there, and you just want to get things done. So, um, I feel like what you really, you know what you don't see right now is that you have the ability, and it's going to go hit right with this Knight of Pentacles. You have the ability to stay strong, to stay consistent, and doing it in a great way with the Strength card, having that that feminine strength. And it doesn't mean you have to be a feminine watching this, but it's more that kind of strength. The Knight of Pentacles is in what to look for. Focus on, that you are achieving. Like as you move forward through this journey, the Hermit, the Fool, as you're moving forward through December, you know, look back at everything that you've accomplished. Like if you've started a new task or started a new process or whatever this full energy is to you, look back and say, oh, okay, that got better, okay, I did good there. Because the Knight of Pentacles is slow but does everything with intent and then creates from that energy. So look back. Don't This is the card, what to look for. Understand that what you are doing is putting things into place for the future. Even though it gets hard, it gets crazy, right? Sometimes. So we have the Lovers in the unexpected position, which is an energy that's coming in unexpected. The Lovers, for those of you who read tarot or don't, it's about choices. It's about partnership. And usually if it's a partnership, it's a really good partnership. It can be love as well. But it's definitely let's clarify this because it's an unexpected energy. I feel like it's a partner of some sort. If you're looking for love, you could meet somebody unexpectedly. What is this? Queen of Cups, Four of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. There is something here that maybe there's going to be an energy of healing with a relationship, a partnership of some sort. Now, remember, the Queen of Cups came in with that Eight of Wands, and I feel like it was part of the um, where you feel like maybe you were deceived or someone, you know, gossiped or something. But that is going to get corrected here with the Four of Swords, Queen of, and that brings in an understanding. So this is an important person to you, this Queen of Cups. So even though there was a hard piece up here in the middle of the reading, I feel like you get through this with the Lovers coming in unexpectedly, saying you're going to come back together. It's going to be okay. You're going to come back together, because I feel like this is a very important piece to the work that you're doing. This is the work you're doing. Again, going back to the Hermit, there's a search you're on. So whether you consider it work or you consider it just a journey or something you've been looking for. So let's keep going. We have the Five of Cups in the challenge. So there is something here with the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is, hey, I've lost 2 cups, and you focus on those 2 cups. That's the Five of Cups, instead of, I still got 3 cups, so what do I do now? Where can I go now? So there is something that you feel like you lose, but you need to focus on what you've gained. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Now, we had the Five of Cups over here with this Eight of Wands. So I do feel like that maybe you have felt disappointed in the past, and that this is just going to be a challenge for you to get through that disappointment. If there is healing going on with this partnership of some sort, keep in mind that, yeah, they disappointed you, but don't keep focusing on what happened. Maybe focus on the future with the Three of Cups that you have. How am I going to refill these other cups? But don't even think about that. Think about, this is what I have to work with now, and this is where I'm going to move. So tell me more about this Five of Cups, please. What is this Five of Cups? Four of Wands. There's that King of Swords again. Ten of Swords. Oh, well, maybe it's definitely, yeah, you're going to have an ending that disappoints you. I feel like there's some kind of coming together with this King of Swords, or an idea. King of Swords could be an idea. And it doesn't quite work out the way you plan. There could be, if this King of Swords is a person and not you, there could be an ending between this situation. Otherwise, it's an ending of an idea or a way to move forward, and you're looking at it differently. The Four of Wands, you might have been celebrating something with this king or with this idea, the king being an idea, and it didn't, it fell through, it ended. And so that's what you're focused on, is that ending, instead of saying, okay, this is a challenge, remember. So if there is an ending, or now we do have the Nine of Swords over here, so you could be overthinking something that really you're thinking too much into it, because that's a lot with the Five of Cups as well. You're so focused on what you lost that you're not looking ahead, and again overthinking what happened. But there is something that does happen here, because it's like you have a conversation with some. Four of Wands I know is celebration, but I feel like there's some kind of conversation where you have someone, and it's this King of Swords or a person, an air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but it's um it's a conversation about putting something to an end, and it kind of disappoints you. So there's something that comes in where you go, okay, I got to put this to an end. It's a disappointment. Now, I will say moving forward, it looks a little quirky with the Nine of Swords, but the rest does not. So if this is something you have to put an end to, it's the right thing. Um, and again, it's a challenge. When we get the readings and it's a challenge, it's just something that, to keep in mind, that something might pop in that you need to work through. And disappointment can be a challenge in any month, right? We get disappointed all the time, but I feel like it's a little bigger than that. The High Priestess is in your future influence. So I feel like as the month progresses, and probably towards the end of February, you really go to trust it. You realize that you need to trust yourself. I feel like it comes in as a realization that I just need to trust me. I need to trust my higher self, my the divine, however you see that, your intuition, your knowing, um, and there. Let's and it's and I don't let's see. Let's clarify. What is this High Priestess? Recognition, Knight of Wands, and the recognition is the Six of Wands, and that Three of Cups. Yeah, you are going to understand something here. So I feel like you may have, there's something that you're recognizing or is coming to light with that Six of Wands. I don't necessarily think you're going to be recognized, because this is about the High Priestess. I feel like it's more you being enlightened. But if you look at the card, he's being enlightened. He's realizing something, and he's holding it up to the world for sure. And I feel like you're realizing exactly where you need to move forward and exactly where you need to go with this Knight of Wands. And that Knight of Wands, you're going to jump in. I mean, it's definitely fire. It's definitely a lot of energy. This Three of Cups, I feel like you're going to understand more of what happened over here with that little gossip bit. And I think it puts everything into perspective for you. And I think that that's kind of what brings in the realization that you really need to trust yourself. So if, like, this situation where I said that there might have been some gossip or something, like your gut told you not to say anything to that person, or you knew inside that you shouldn't do that, that's partially why you go, oh, I've got to trust myself, because I definitely had the right message here. And so you just were proven that, and you're like, I really got to trust this, which is a good thing, because sometimes we need to be shown every once in a while that our intuition is correct by not following our intuition. Sometimes that's the thing that really opens our eyes. It's not necessarily pleasant all the time, but it does open our eyes, and I needed to trust that. Why didn't I? And then next time you'll trust yourself more. And then so the outcome is the Three of Pentacles. This does produce, I feel like with the Three of Pentacles is all about um you know, I looked at my watch and then I lost all track. Camaraderie, working together, working around people that have different skill sets, like really working with somebody here. I feel like this could be somebody, and it could be a group of people. if this is all about a relationship, the outcome is going to be you're going to work together. Whatever that looks like, whether you need to work on something or just, get together, there's a good chance that's going to happen. Tell me more about this Three of Pentacles. We've got Five of Swords, Two of Swords, and the Two of Wands. Yeah, like there was something here that was really hard to reach. You didn't, so weird. Going back to the trust, because the Five of Swords is about someone not playing fairly. You've got the Two of Swords, which is, I got to really make a decision. And the Two of Wands is, what direction do I go in and which way do I want to go? So I do feel like this is like, this might be you coming back around. I do feel like what happens in the future all is because this thing happening to you with the gossip. Like, you knew you couldn't trust this person. You knew that this was not something you shouldn't say, but you did it anyway and you got your lesson here. So the high priestess comes in and says, ha ha, see? And you go, yeah, see? And then the Three of Pentacles is like, moving forward, you're going to understand, to make sure, making good choices when it comes to people that may not be, able to trust. Five of Swords too can be that feeling of walking away from something. If there's no way he can break free from those ropes, why keep working at it? And that's sometimes the choice we have to make with the Five of Swords. If someone's not playing fair, we might not ever be able to win, basically, the fight. And then you have to decide, do I try anyway, or will I'm never going to make it? So there's a lot to be said with the Five of Swords about making choices. If I fight, will I win? Because this other person is not necessarily playing fairly. Should I just walk away and let bygones be bygones? And I feel like with the Two of Wands here is that you're going to realize exactly what you need to do. You're going to be able to make that decision. Something will come in, probably from your intuition, and you'll know exactly what to do, which I feel like brings you into either a relationship, a partnership. It could be multiple people as well, to really work on something together. So where does this all lead? It leads to the Nine of Swords. It's not a fun card. The Queen of Pentacles, and then the Hierophant. So I do feel like, okay, so there is going to be, some anxiousness, stress as you move forward. Maybe you're trying to figure something out too much in your head for a while. And it could be because you're wondering if you should trust yourself again, because you're coming into a new partnership. So am I doing the right thing? Am I, headed in the right direction? I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles, you know exactly what you're doing. When I look at the reading, the Queen of Pentacles is here looking at all the cards basically and saying, yeah, the Queen of Pentacles takes care of her business, man. She takes care of her home, her family, everything. So, and it's the stability, and she's looking out saying, I know exactly what I need to do. And that's you going, yeah, no, I trust myself. I'm going to work through this. I'm going to make this work with the patience that you're going to need to make this all work. And the Hierophant then comes, this would probably be into January, into the new year. I'm going to tell you what I believe this card means moving forward for you, and let me know if this resonates. It's trust. I feel like you're really going to be trusting the process, trusting yourself, taking that higher road and really trusting what you're doing into the new year. Because I feel like this, this, a lot of what's happening in this reading has to do with someone else in your sphere, that you put trust into someone, they betrayed that. You learned your lesson, but you realized that you knew it anyway. With the High Priestess, you knew not to trust, you knew not to say anything, and you did. And then this Hierophant is like, I trust myself. I trust myself going into the future. I can take control of this, my own life, and move forward. For some of you, this also could be a commitment, but I feel like for most of you, it's a commitment to yourself and to your higher power and to your spirituality moving into the new year. Trusting the universe, trusting yourself. And that's what I see here. Let's pull a Yeah, an oracle. I don't usually use oracles, so I will be reading from the book on this one. Um, what is our message, our advice moving forward December? The Revenant, Revenant, Revenant. Let's take a look at that. Whoa. Okay, so this is kind of, okay, 91. It's on page 91. It's pretty long. I'll start. I'm going to hold this up as I read. So the key words are transgression, hubris, intervention, karma, vigilance, security. Okay, security, like the trust thing. In a weary cemetery, a hooded figure plunges a shovel into the earth below. A collection of gravestones bear witness to the violation of the sacred ground. Disturbed from slumber, a guardian spirit emerges from behind the weathered stone. The spirit watches silently. It's from both ethereal and commanding. The reverent stands as the vigilant protector of the boundary between the living and the dead, as well as the past and present. Unaware of the spirit's presence, the hooded figure continues to deface the plot. The Revenant explores themes of hubris, mortality, and the consequences of meddling with forces beyond one's misunderstanding. The grave robber represents humanity's compulsion to uncover what is hidden. Often without reverence or regard for the sacred, the guardian spirits stand as the unseen force that protects what is not meant to be disturbed. From an alternate perspective, the past should not always be unearthed and ruminated on. That's the advice, because I feel like whatever happened with that star card and a little bit of that, be sure not to always, go back and unearth that. Sometimes that would be going back to the 5 of cups and trying to refill those 2 cups that are already lost. Why relive it? um in doing so, we grant ourselves the wait, let's see. um as some burdens are best left buried. In doing so, we grant ourselves the freedom to move forward. So I do feel like this is like, understand that what happened was supposed to happen, and um and then to move forward into this high priestess. And I think this card says a lot. So there you have your reading for today, Aries, for November. I'm sorry, for December. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that thumbs up. Also subscribe and leave a comment. Take care. Have a beautiful day.